Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today you find us at the South Terminal at Gatwick Airport, and we're about to check into our flight to where, CB?
We're off to Latvia.
We are, because today is
Travel day.
It is indeed. So in the UK it's a bank holiday weekend, which means that we have Monday off work, so we're going to take advantage of that to go and explore somewhere new that we've never been before, and also explore a new airline which accidentally we didn't mean to book with, but we'll explain a little bit about that inside once we get to the departure lounge. And also we're being really brave because we are flying what class, Stephen?
Economy out there anyway.
Economy out there at least, yeah. We're going to upgrade a little bit on the way back, but yeah, so it's going to be an interesting experience. I've never flown airBaltic before, Stephen's never flown airBaltic before, and we've not done economy since Wizz Air to Budapest, was it?
Well, in all fairness, I did economy out to Florida a couple of weeks ago, so yeah.
So anyway, so we're looking forward to this little trip. We're going to head inside in a minute. When we get inside, we'll tell you a little bit more about how this came about, what we're going to do when we're out there, and we're looking forward to having you guys along for the journey.
When we flew out to Dubrovnik,
Yep.
I suggested to you that you should buy me this.
I remember.
Yeah.
And what happened?
You didn't.
No, why did I not buy it?
Because you're tight.
No, because of that. But you can buy it for yourself if you want.
I think you should really do it for me.
Do you really?
Oh, it's free sample.
Oh. What is that? Ice gin, Tanqueray, a Negroni. Nice.
Thank you, it's lovely. Pop it there.
What do you think?
Good. I need alcohol after my day, so yeah, that was a good start.
A bit of a busy afternoon, haven't we?
Yeah, and also as well, just really quickly over here, I always say every time I see this, which I've seen it for the last, my last two Florida visits and then our Dubrovnik one. This bottle as well, like 15 quid for that. I think that's really good.
That's not a bad price, right?
Yeah, really, really good. Anyway, onwards we go.
Yep. So this thing's got like a really weird name, right? Monkey Shoulder, which apparently is a blended malt Scotch whiskey.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, what have you seen?
It's I've got Bleu de Chanel indoors, but this one is called Allure, and I was lured over. Oh, it smells delicious.
Nice.
Yeah. Smell that.
Oh, it is nice actually,
Lovely,
isn't it?
isn't it?
Oh, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Was it Allure?
And it is £96.
£96.
Or you can get a so that £96 for 100ml, which is that, or
Yeah.
£69 for 50ml, or a little carry-on. That can't be right. For £83.
I think I'll skip on that one. So the obligatory visit to duty free, which comes with any trip involving Stephen, is now done, and it's time to head to the checkout. Gatwick is not much different to most airports. You have to head through the gauntlet, which is duty free, before you even get to the departure lounge. Unless, of course, you know about the secret shortcut at the end of security in the South Terminal, which helps you bypass this. If you've seen some of our previous vlogs, you will know all about that. The checkout area itself is very slick and efficient, and despite there being a bit of a queue, it flows really well. I guess that's the benefit of having a single line for all the positions, with a person at the end of that line to direct people to the next available till. Now, despite all the browsing that we've been doing, we're actually heading away without a huge amount of things. In fact, just one. A bottle of Ciroc Limonata to add to my cocktail making cabinet for use at some point in the future. That is when we get back home, of course. Now, the main departure lounge at the South Terminal is split into two levels. Downstairs is the main retail area, which is primarily wrapped on all sides by various different shops. And as you can see, today it's also being used to give some free first aid training, which actually we think is a really good way of capturing people, given that they have time to kill. There is an upstairs mezzanine area, which we'll be heading to shortly as well. But given that we know that we won't be getting any complimentary catering on this flight, we're just taking a quick detour to WH Smith to grab ourselves a meal deal. And we have to say, although this is probably cheaper than what you'd pay on the aircraft, these deals are typically around the £4 mark, including tax, on the high street. So to be charged £7 in a tax-free environment is probably a little bit pricey. Now that's out of the way though, it's time to head upstairs. There are one or two shops up here, but it's primarily the area where you'll find the bars, cafes and restaurants, as well as the various VIP lounges, including the BA lounge. Now, we are on a BA code share today, but airBaltic is not a One World member. So even with our BA Gold status, there is no lounge access on this particular flight, for us at least. Not that we've been able to get much use out of it though this afternoon. We've both been working today, which means that we've not been able to arrive much in advance of our departure time. We do still have a few minutes until our gate comes up though, so we're going to use that to head into the airport Wetherspoons for a quick liquid refreshment. Now, most of our UK viewers will already know this, but Wetherspoons is a chain of bars that are probably the equivalent of a low-cost airline in the world of aviation. Now, that might sound like our expectations are a bit low, but actually, this one isn't too bad. Despite it being quite busy, which is perhaps not surprising for a Friday afternoon, it feels quite spacious in here. It's nicely decorated, there are plenty of spaces to sit, and I really like the nod to aviation with the name at the bar. And on that note, it's probably time to tell you a bit more about our thoughts so far. That is, if I can tear Stephen away from posing for his latest Instagram story, even if it is only for a minute or two.
We are in the, I was going to say the local Wetherspoons, but it's not a local Wetherspoons because we don't have a local Wetherspoons, and I can't remember the last time I was in one, to be honest, but we are in the Flying Horse in the South Terminal, and it's very, very strange because we haven't done this in about 100 years. I think the last time I was in a Wetherspoons pub flying somewhere was with Kirsty and Amy, and no, it was with Kirsty and Paul when we went to Amsterdam. Yeah.
It was this pub, wasn't it? If I
Yeah.
remember rightly. Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's not quite the same as the BA lounge, right?
It's definitely not the same as a BA lounge. It's very loud.
Very loud.
We were lucky to find these seats.
Yeah. It's also very busy.
It
right?
is also very busy, but the time is currently 4:10,
Yeah.
and the gate information comes up in 10 minutes.
It does indeed,
And I
right?
think I know where it's going to be, because I think it's going to be down 15, 16 or 17, because when I got my Florida flight a couple of weeks ago,
Yep.
airBaltic was down there.
Okay, so we will see in a few minutes if that's right or not. But do you want to tell everyone why we're flying airBaltic today?
So, it is our 8-year wedding anniversary.
Uh-huh.
And I decided to do something nice and book us a little Eastern European getaway.
Yep.
And I did it via the British Airways app. However, what I didn't notice was that it was a code share. I don't even know what a code share is. And yeah, it wasn't until I then kind of went to try and like check in, or not check in, try and reserve seats, that I found out that I had kind of fudged the flights. So not only does our gold tier status not allow us to book seats on this, which I had to pay £35 each for a seat, it doesn't give us access to the BA lounge here.
That's because airBaltic are a code share, but they're not a One World Alliance member.
And
I think.
And also as well, our baggage allowance is reduced as well. So yeah.
Well, not that we need like lots of baggage for a weekend away, right?
No, but it's the principle of the thing. You know, I didn't work this hard to get my gold status, which I'm going to lose next year, because I don't have 20 grand that I can spend on constant holidays. I wish I could.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know what? It is what it is. It's been a very, very busy day.
And what does that mean you've got now?
Got a glass of Sauvignon Blanc.
Yep.
So I'm going to have this.
Yep.
And then we're going to peruse around a little bit and then head on over to the gate.
Indeed. Well, gate's in 20 minutes, so we've
10
got
minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, we need to drink this up fairly quickly, don't we? But anyway, we will catch you guys when we get to the gate, and we'll tell you a bit more about flight.
That's delicious.
Nice.
So the gate is now up, and actually Stephen wasn't far wrong with his prediction just now. We are off to gate 22, which is on the central pier, along with gates 15, 16 and 17, which he just referenced. Now, it's not the furthest away. The satellite gates in the 30s are probably the ones that you want to keep an eye on and leave extra time for. And you definitely want to be aware of gates in the 90s, because that is almost certainly a guarantee of a bus gate. But it is about 3/4 of the way down the central pier, which is by far the longest in the South Terminal. So there's no time for extra perusing. It's now time to head towards the gate.
Okay, so we got to the gate, and actually I have to say I'm really quite excited because I've never flown an Airbus A220 before, and I've never flown airBaltic either, so this is a whole new experience for me. Stephen just ducked to the gents very quickly before we get on the plane, but hopefully we'll be on board very soon and experiencing something different and new, which we're both looking very forward to. Okay, so we're trying to work out the boarding process because they called in the business class and the back rows of economy, and then suddenly everyone has just swarmed towards the plane. So we're not quite sure whether
these are not business class looking types of people.
they're not. There are probably
Neither are we today.
there are probably about, I don't know, about 100 people maybe. No, that could be an exaggeration, but who knows. There are lots of people that are clearly boarding the plane, but I'm not sure they're called yet, so I'm not sure if we're supposed to get on or not. In fact, the entire gate now looks a little bit empty. Don't know if you can see. So yeah, we'll try and find out what's going on, I hope.
So we were definitely right to think that we hadn't quite understood the boarding process. We'll cover that off a bit more when we get sat down, because right now we are focused on getting on board. But as you can see, we are now at the back of a long queue of people who have somehow got in front of us. Thankfully, we only have a small rucksack between us, so don't have a need for overhead luggage bin space on this flight. But I think I'd be quite anxious about our place in the queue if we did have a carry-on case of some sort. The jet bridge itself feels quite claustrophobic, and it is taking its time to move along, but never mind, as we are being reminded by the Uber sponsorship, we are almost there now. I guess we should be grateful for that, right? So we're now getting our first glimpse of the aircraft, given that you couldn't really see it from the inside the gate area, and I'm interested to see the inside. The A220 was initially launched as the Bombardier C series before Airbus brought in with a majority stake in the programme around 2019. Now, it's aimed primarily at the regional jet market, although I think the length of this flight might be pushing that description just a little bit. More importantly though, there is a real focus in the design on interior space and comfort, and on that, for me, the first impressions are actually quite good. It seems quite bright and roomy in here, and the seats don't look as much like ironing boards as perhaps I'd expected. Ours are quite close to the front, and we have found them in no time at all. So we're going to get ourselves settled in, make ourselves comfortable, and tell you a little bit more about our thoughts.
Right, okay, so we are all on board. It was an interesting boarding process because they called out the business class rows and the back rows, and then nothing else. And then suddenly we realised the entire gate had emptied, and we were like one of the last people sitting in the gate waiting to get on board. And then we realised, or it dawned on us, that actually everyone else was getting on and we were at the back of the queue. So thankfully we are on board. It is really, really hot on here. It's
very hot.
Really hot indeed. So I'm hoping that once we get up in the air, it's going to cool down a little bit. But actually, what I do like about this plane is it's a kind of a 2-3 layout. So me and Stephen are the two, then there's the aisle, and then there's 3 on the other side. So actually, that feels kind of good if you're travelling as a couple, because you haven't got a random stranger next to you. So
yeah, no stranger danger. And it cost £35
exactly
per seat allocation.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to benefit from our gold tier status, in which case we'd normally get free seat allocation.
We would, yeah. So yeah, because this is a co-chair rather than a One World Alliance flight, we didn't get any of the perks on that side, and Stephen has very generously paid for our seats, and I'm really glad that we're at the front of the plane and that we have 2 seats together, which is nice. And also we have 2 whole windows right next to us as well, and they're quite large windows, so I am going to get a very good view on this flight.
Not because you sit next to me either.
That also helps too. Anyway, we're going to settle in now, get comfortable, and we'll catch up with you guys soon.
So it hasn't taken too long for the boarding process to be completed, and actually, other than the slight confusion about the boarding groups at the gate, it's been largely painless. Plus, there's been no sign of baggage bin rage, which we've definitely experienced on some of our previous flights. The jet bridge has now been retracted, and it's time for us to get going. Probably not a minute too soon if we're honest. It really is boiling hot on board, which I guess is down to some kind of APU failure of some sort. Hopefully once the engines get going, it will cool down a bit.
And now may we have your attention for safety video demonstration.
Before takeoff, the usual safety demonstration is given, and on airBaltic it's a video version shown on small screens above the seats. And interestingly, on this flight, the crew only appeared at points where things like the emergency exits needed to be pointed out to us. The rest of the time they were preparing the cabin for takeoff. The video pretty much covered everything you need to know though, and it's interesting to compare the airBaltic approach to British Airways, who still do manual demonstrations on their short-haul flights. Anyway, with that out of the way, we're now taxiing our way to the runway, so it's probably just a matter of minutes until we're airborne. So as you can see, today is a beautiful day for flying, and the engines are definitely doing their job of cooling the cabin down now. It's certainly becoming much more comfortable, and on that note, this feels like a good opportunity to tell you a bit more about our onboard experience with airBaltic. And I think the first thing to mention is that every passenger, irrespective of cabin or frequent flyer status, gets free Wi-Fi with airBaltic. There's no in-flight entertainment on board, so we're definitely going to be taking that offer up. And we're being told it's high speed and unrestricted too. So we'll put that to the test and we'll let you know how we get on with it. Secondly, I love that there are little information screens on this plane. We saw them earlier during the safety briefing, but during the flight they become a moving map where you can track your progress. Now BA used to have this a while back, but they dropped it in an attempt to save money. Something to do with the extra weight of the drop-down screens adding to the fuel bill for each flight, I seem to remember at the time. And thirdly, I am impressed with the seat pitch. I'm around 6 foot tall, so that makes it a huge difference to me and my comfort on board a flight. airBaltic have a 32-inch standard seat pitch, which is 3 inches more than what BA offer in the rear of their economy cabin and 2 inches more than what they offer in the front of their economy and their business cabins. And as we know, an extra inch or two makes a huge difference, right? So we're going to get ourselves settled in for the flight. I've picked myself up a cheeky vodka to spike the lemon coke that I bought from WH Smith as part of my meal deal a bit earlier on. Stephen's got his iPad out, he's connected to the Wi-Fi and he's currently streaming one of his favourite vloggers, which he's very excited about, and he's also treated himself to a bottle of Prosecco. Okay, so we're about an hour into the flight. So far so good actually. I'm slightly surprised. I was expecting the worst with this flight being a Baltic carrier and we're flying in economy, but actually it's not been too bad. I'm loving the free Wi-Fi. I think that the cost of the onboard service, which I'll show you in a minute, isn't too bad. It's also you get some really good priced drinks and some meals, and actually you can get hot meals as well. We haven't had one, but someone else behind us did have something that smelled quite nice.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. Absolutely. But it smelled really nice, and actually I felt slightly food envious potentially with my WH Smith meal deal, i.e. a cheddar Plowman,
which was really expensive.
It was really expensive. I'm going to show you that a little bit earlier. But yeah, $6.99 for a sandwich and packet of crisps and drink. Maybe a little bit pricey. However, we're enjoying the flight so far. The one thing I would say, I think, apart from the fact there's lots of legroom, we shouldn't not forget in the economy seats, the one thing I would have to say, I think, is that it's a little bit hot. The cabin temperature is warm, so
well, it could be the fact that you've got two windows as well.
It could be, and the sun is literally right there, so that one doesn't help either. But by the way, it'd be nice if we could just kind of like have a bit of air on our faces or something like that, so we don't feel quite so hot. But so far, so good. Enjoying the flight. What do you think so far, Stevie?
Yeah, as you said, I like the fact that the Wi-Fi is free. It's Starlink Wi-Fi. It's actually really fast as well. Like I downloaded a couple of vlogs on my YouTube Premium, but I can actually stream straight from Wi-Fi, which, unlike BA, they only allow you to have social media and some messaging, and it's obviously slightly restricted, but it doesn't seem to be the issue on here. Seats are okay. Legroom is good, as you said. I don't like how far the seats are from the flying back, but you know, it's the shortest flight. It's like 2 hours and 30 minutes. The only thing I would say is that, to quote Dorit from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills,
wine goes in a wine glass, champagne goes in a champagne glass. You wouldn't eat cereal with a fork.
And what have they given me to have my Prosecco in?
Paper cup, double paper cup in fact, for whatever reason.
Yeah, so clearly I've often been spoiled too much with the lounges and the premium economy and the business class that we tend to fly. But you know what, all in all, not too bad. I think if I hadn't paid for these seats where we're sitting next to each other and we was in a free, it might have been a bit uncomfortable, but all in all, not too bad, I think.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised so far. Pleasantly surprised. So we're going to sit back for a little while, relax, enjoy the rest of the flight. I'm going to eat my meal deal. I haven't eaten yet. Steve's going to carry on watching his vlogs.
And actually, I ate my meal deal even before we took off.
So I'm a bit hungry, didn't you?
Hungry? I was starving because literally all I've had to eat today is a packet of beef, from the gym this morning, and then at lunchtime I had a pepperami, and I don't know what it was, it just literally come over me. I was just kind of like really, really hungry. So I had my steak crisps as we were taxiing, and just as we was taking off I had my BLT, and now I have nothing but Prosecco in a paper cup. Yeah.
Well, anyway, flight so far is so good, and we will catch up with you guys very soon.
So one thing that we always like to show you when we're flying in economy flights is the buy on board food and drinks offerings. And unlike some airlines who have theirs in a separate menu, airBaltic have theirs as part of their in-flight magazine, which they call Baltic Outlook. And around halfway through the magazine, you'll find a section perhaps uninspiringly called Air Cafe. And I'm sure they could have found a bit more of an enticing name to give to their onboard catering, but that's their choice at the end of the day, not mine. Now, I do think that this is a little on the pricey side. On the first page, there's a wrap or a panini, and they are both priced at €7.99. If you want, you can have a combi deal, it looks like, where you can add a bottle of wine for €14.98 or a soft drink for €10.48. But the presence of an 8 at the end of that price does make me wonder if there's actually a saving there or not, or if it's just the price of the panini and the drink added together. On the other side, there's also an antipasti selection, which they do make look quite nice, although I suspect it won't do when it comes out, along with what I think is a cheese and gherkin croissant, potentially. And then turning the page, you have your sweet treats. There's a blueberry muffin, a vanilla protein bar of some sort, along with a Twix bar. And there are also some gummy sweets and what they describe as a salted caramel and nut cookie, although it looks more like a rice cake to me. On the other side is your hot drinks, and my instant reaction is that I'm pretty sure we're being missold here. I'd put the chance of them coming out in a China cup as slim to none, and again, I don't think I'd pay this price for something that is probably coming out of a sachet. So now we get to the grown-up drink section, and the first thing that we come to is the spirit and mixers, where they offer you all sorts of suggestions, along with just the miniatures on their own if you just wanted one of them. As you know, I did indulge in a vodka, which probably tells me something about my priorities at these prices. On the other side, they've also got some cocktails in the form of a Negroni, Aperol Spritz, or a Lemon Spritz, and again, I'd wager that it doesn't come in a glass. Now, this page does confirm my suspicions around the so-called combi deal that we saw earlier. The price for the wrap and the drink is exactly the same as if you bought the two separately. Here, though, we have what I believe to be a Latvian beer, although if you don't fancy that, you can get a Carlsberg as an alternative. There is also some Prosecco, including an alcohol-free version, and there's also a red or a white wine. And lastly, in terms of the menu, there's a page called Salty Snacks, which I'm sure we can make all sorts of innuendos from. But it's basically some cured meats, pretzels, crisps and peanuts. And that, folks, for the menu side, is just about it. Okay, this is future Luke dropping into the voiceover for a second, because as we were editing this, we realised that we didn't see any cold soft drinks on the menu, and I think I must have managed to turn 2 pages at some point. But just to let you know, they do sell a range of water, juices and fizzy drinks at, I suspect, overinflated prices.
Okay, and one thing we forgot to mention earlier, if you are buying on board airBaltic, you can do so with Apple Pay and Google Wallet, which is great, but you can only do so up to the value of €25. Anything that comes to a total more than that, you have to have your physical plastic card with you. So if you intend to buy food or drinks or refreshments on your flight, please remember to pack your physical wallet with you, otherwise you may find yourself caught short, which won't be a good thing on a 2-hour flight like this one.
So as you can see, we are approaching the Baltic coast now, and that indicates that our flight is nearing its end. And we'll tell you a bit more about what we think of the overall airBaltic experience when we get off the plane, but I just wanted to pause quickly to say something about our first ever A220 flight. And I think it's a great design. The cabin feels roomy and spacious. The 2x3 seating is great for people travelling as a couple, and the large windows allow plenty of natural lighting, along with providing some spectacular views, although that may be a bit of a drawback if the sun is shining through them like it was today, in terms of making it feel perhaps a little bit on the warm side. I'm not sure if the airBaltic seat pitch is the standard for this aircraft, but if it is, the extra legroom is a real plus. So we definitely recommend an A220 flight if you're ever mulling over taking one. That said, we're landing at a great time of the day. The sun is starting to set and the blue sky is starting to morph into tones of orange and pink. So that means that we're likely going to get some great landing footage. And on that note, it's time to head down to the ground. So we're not the first off the plane today, but to be fair, we're not far from it. And when Stephen pre-booked these seats, he managed to get us some that were quite near the front of the aircraft, and that is definitely paying dividends today. Irrespective of where we're sitting though, one thing we have noticed about this flight is that there seems to be an almost instinctive, orderly approach from the passengers on board. We've all been on those flights where as soon as a plane gets to the gate, everyone rushes to get their cases and then surges forward towards the exit door. That didn't seem to be a thing today. People were just getting up row by row, taking their stuff down from the lockers and then walking off the plane. I'm not sure if that's typical of airBaltic or if we were just lucky on this specific flight. Either way, it's making the alighting process really stress-free for us. Once you're off the plane at Riga, you are fairly quickly filtered down to ground level to make your way to passport control. And the floor-to-ceiling windows here make for some fairly incredible views of the apron, including giving us one last opportunity to say goodbye to the aircraft that has just got us here all the way from London. But before we get to passport control, this is probably a good moment to give you our final thoughts about this flight.
Okay, so we are off the flight, and I have to say,
it was a really good flight.
It was. I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised with airBaltic. I thought it was going to be a bit of a Wizz Air-esque type experience, but actually the crew were good, the service was good, the legroom was good, the seat was comfortable,
really
the
comfortable.
free Wi-Fi was an absolute bonus, and actually BA, you could learn something from that, I think.
Yeah, and I was saying to Luke earlier, if it wasn't for the fact that my iPad died halfway,
Yep.
I was able to stream 2 YouTube videos at 4K quality.
Yep.
No problems at all, no buffering, nothing. So
really, really good. And yes, BA could learn a thing or two about that. It is just gone 10 o'clock here.
Yep, so that's 8 o'clock UK time.
8 o'clock UK time.
But actually, not a bad flight. Enjoyed that. Might do that again maybe one day in the future. Who knows? But for now, we're going to head to passport control and then hopefully collect our suitcases.
Okay, so the passport control experience has probably been one of the better ones that we've had so far. The queue was really short and there were no questions about why we were here, where we were staying, or how much money we had, unlike some of the US airports that we have been through. And as you can see, the cases are already coming out pretty much as soon as we have got to the reclaim belt. So it's probably about time to grab our bags and make our way outside.
Okay, so that's it folks. We are off the airplane, through passport control, through baggage reclaim and out the airport in 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
20 minutes, yeah.
And we even got sniffed by the dog as well.
We did get sniffed by the customs dog as well, and I was a little bit nervous. I thought he was wagging his tail for some reason. I didn't quite know what that was. So apparently it was not a sign that I was something illicit, but yeah, we got through okay. So
illicit is a good word.
Yeah, we're outside the airport now. The next mission is to try and find our way to the city centre.
So you can get a bus, but
yep.
It's as we said, it's like just gone 20 past 10.
20 past 10 in the evening, yeah.
And it's still light, which is really weird,
Yeah.
although you can't see it on here. I did look for Ubers, there aren't any out here.
Yep.
Bolt is the thing though, so I think it's about 10 to 14 euros.
Yep.
So out of simple convenience, that is what we're likely to do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go and try and find our Bolt, or Steve's going to book a Bolt, and we're going to try and find it, and then we'll catch up with you guys when we get into town centre.
Indeed.
Okay, so just a quick heads up at this point. As we have just said, Bolt is by far the key player here and not Uber. So when you leave the airport, you need to find your way to the Bolt pickup point, as they don't pick up directly outside the terminal exit. It's not massively complicated to find. You just follow the signs from outside the terminal to what appears to be an area of the car park where they pick passengers up from. But if you are really stuck, just look for the large triangular sign which doubles up as a kind of a X marks the spot type thing. Now, Stephen did also mention the bus option to the city too, but as you can see, it looks rather busy, which may not be great for a long ride into the city centre. I'm not sure how long it would take, but if it's a standing room only job after a long flight, I might find this just a little bit uncomfortable. For us though, our Bolt has arrived quite quickly and we're now on our way to find our hotel.
Okay, so apparently that was the wrong hotel. So the Bolt driver took us to where we thought we were supposed to be. He said, go ahead and turn left. which we did. Walked into a hotel that had the same name as ours, but apparently it wasn't. So we're now walking this way, because apparently 7 minutes down the road is where we're supposed to be staying. So hopefully we'll find it fairly soon. Fingers crossed.
Right, so after a bit of a walk, we've managed to find the hotel that we're actually booked into, and to be fair, we're not feeling too disappointed. Okay, it might not be as large as the other one in the same chain, but it's far closer to the old town, and actually we feel it has a little bit more character to it. The other hotel felt very corporate, whereas this one feels just a little bit more homely. Inside, the reception is well decorated and well presented. We both love the ambient lighting and the simplicity of the decor. Although, simplicity aside, there is an air of elegant bouginess that makes you feel like you're someone really important. It really is making us feel like we're going to be very well looked after over the next few days. So in terms of first impressions, it's so far so good for us. And our eye has also been drawn to the presence of an open-top bus tour in Riga. That is definitely something that we want to try out whilst we are here. But that is most certainly for another day, and for us right now, our priority is about getting nested in. So let's see what our room looks like.
What number were we? 203. I think it's this way. Oh, that's smart. I was going to say, what is that?
I think it's like the original building.
I have no idea what it is, right? But it looks like it's like some old city wall or something in the hotel. Oh, that's kind of cool. But more importantly, what now?
Welcome to my crib.
Oh, it's dark.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's quite smart. Okay, guys, literally, this is us walking in because we still have, as you can see, our suitcases. So there is no sneak previews from us before recording.
No sneak previews, although I have seen that the bed is a normal king bed.
Okay.
And I always like
a twin
whenever we go away because I like a neutral zone.
I'm sure we can manage.
So you can start in that area if you want.
Okay, so this is the king bed. I have to say, that's a fairly decent size. Like if you look at the pillows, right, and you think how big a pillow normally is, there's a good neutral zone. Is that what you said, Stephen?
Neutral zone, yeah.
On that side, and a good neutral zone on this side. So I'm sure if we need to, we can create one in the middle, right? What do you think?
Yeah, and AC is over here. There's like an IKEA assembled bedside, which, look how small it is. Look, it's Diddy. It's so small.
It's very small, isn't it?
So small. Obviously lights, more lights, so I can turn yours off, turn mine off. Plug sockets by the bed, that's always a good thing.
Yes, and actually on both sides, which is definitely a good thing.
If you spin around, the TV is on the wall behind you, which is your thing.
Exactly where it should be, so you can watch it in bed.
But it's a very small TV. Although I don't know how much we can be in here, but...
Yeah. This is kind of cool though.
If you look up, it's really high ceilings.
Yeah. Very much so. It is quite warm in here though, right? Is that why you're playing with the thing?
I'm going to turn it, it's at 20, so I'm going to turn it down to 10.
10?
Yeah, just to help. Now, they've given us some Pringles, but I don't know...
No, that's a minibar thing, look. There's a price list underneath it, I reckon.
There's no Pringles on there.
You're correct.
So this is literally... And actually, I don't think...
Oh wait, is it this though? Chips?
No.
Crisps?
Well, maybe. But I don't think the prices are unreasonable. I do like
To be fair, they don't look too bad, do they?
No. And actually, if you have a
€4 for a beer.
If you look in there, actually...
They have a Toblerone. That is tempting.
But why is it whenever you come abroad and anywhere abroad and you have a mini fridge, it's always full fat soft drinks?
Yeah.
Never like sugar-free or diet
No.
ones. Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I like
What's that little thing on the door though? Like that there?
I'm guessing they used to have like alcohol in here, like miniatures.
Oh, miniatures. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Coffee and tea making facilities.
Yep.
There's a lamp here,
Yep.
which is cute. Somewhere to hang your coats and bags.
Yep.
Always good. Shoes, luggage down here. And then wardrobe, which I actually like because it's a full length one. You've got storage here, you've got your ironing board and your iron for if I need you to do any ironing for me.
While we're here?
Well, just because we know that's not a qualification I hold.
Exactly, yep.
Over here we have the safe, which is quite deep actually, which is good because sometimes they're quite small. And then behind you is the bathroom, and I just looked at it and it's actually quite nice.
Okay, do you want to show us then?
You can go in because...
Okay. It's very kind of yellow, right? In here.
That's the lighting, I think.
Let's have a look. Oh, it is nice actually. Oh, by the way, hey everyone. That is quite smart, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although the towels don't look particularly fluffy.
That is true.
They've given us some free toiletries down there.
Yep.
Like the sink. We'll reserve judgment till tomorrow.
I was going to say, the one thing that I'm thinking about this, right, is that it looks like the water may just like leak out from underneath.
That's why you've got the mat there.
Yeah, we'll see on that one. But it's quite a nice, bathroom. Good sized mirror there. Hairdryer, although we bought our own after our Dubrovnik fiasco where the hairdryer didn't work, I just decided to bring my own, just to be on the safe side. But I might try it and see if that works. And like Stephen said, a few little toiletries. But generally speaking, I quite like this. Oh, someone's disappeared. There he is. What do you think, Stevie?
Yeah, I think for a couple of days it is comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah, for a couple of days it's comfortable. And I've just whacked the aircon up. So I've turned the fans on, I've turned it down, and I can actually feel the room cooling down. Which
I was going to say,
nice.
Suddenly it starts to feel a bit cooler, because it really was hot when we walked in.
Yeah, it was very
don't know much about what the view looks like, because it's dark at the moment. I've got a gut feeling, because that looks like another building opposite, that it's not the best view in the world, but at the end of the day, we're here for 2 nights, and it will do, right?
I think so, yeah. So we do have continental breakfast included.
Yep.
She said it is between 7:30 and 10.
7:30 and 11.
Okay, even better.
Yep.
There was tourist tax to pay, which was only €6, which I don't think is bad considering.
No, that's not bad for 3 nights, right?
Cities, and it's been a lot more, and that's. I'm guessing it's per room because sometimes it's per person, sometimes it's per person, per room, per night. But yeah, we're all good. But yeah, this is manageable, I think.
I think so. And it's cooling down and it feels better already. So I'm looking forward to getting my head down. I feel a bit tired now. It's been a busy day, right?
Yeah, so plans for tomorrow.
Do we have plans yet?
Not necessarily, no. You were thinking maybe a hop-on, hop-off bus.
Yeah, like a ho-ho bus, right?
As Mel would say.
Yep.
There is a couple of, obviously, things around here to do. So they've got a observation deck on top of the church or cathedral, one of them two, which I think I saw as we walked past, when we walked this way. And they have a castle.
Yep.
And one of our subscribers messaged us on Instagram, and if you're not on our Instagram, I will stick the link below, so please go over to there because you get to see what we're doing in the moment, the live footage, let's say.
The life of us,
the
right?
Unedited live footage. But yeah, message us to say that he's coming out in a couple of weeks, but there's a place that he's been to previously, and it was a cafe or a venue to eat, and recommended that. So we'll have a look at that in the morning. So thank you for the recommendation. We have, however, got a day trip planned to Latvia.
No, we're in Latvia.
Oh, sorry,
Lithuania. Yep, on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yep.
So there's this like kind of area called the Hill of Crosses, and there are just loads and loads and loads of crosses. So that will be interesting. So we're literally doing 2 countries in 1 weekend.
That's quite impressive, actually, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Right, anyway, so we are gonna make ourselves comfortable, chill out for a little bit, and then maybe have a think about what we're going to do tomorrow, and we'll bring you up to speed very shortly on that.
Right, so the time is 23:49, so it's nearly tomorrow, but not quite. But we are 2 hours ahead.
We are, yeah.
So it's coming up to 10 o'clock back home.
Yep. Yeah, but it's nearly midnight here.
Nearly midnight here, and also because we've had a long day, because obviously we were up this morning for gym at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Yeah, we're kind of feeling really, really tired. Like I don't know. For me, today was really, really like the afternoon was just horrendous with work, like legal cases and stuff. But you know what? That was then. This is now. We're here. Yeah,
we are. It's been a long day, isn't it? And I think travelling does take it out of you, right?
Yeah.
So even though it's not quite 10 o'clock at home yet, it does feel like it's nearly midnight, like it is here.
In all fairness, I'm normally in bed by 9 o'clock.
This is true.
Luke normally like stays downstairs and watches like YouTube or something. But
for a little bit, yeah.
We didn't actually mention this when we walked in because we've only just noticed it, and we'll do a cutaway video now. But there is a massive mirror, literally opposite the bed, and it is the type of mirror that when you watch those police films or FBI or whatever, like when someone is standing behind it,
the other side of it.
So now I feel like there's going to be people watching us when we're sleeping, but we only sleep. We don't like touch or cuddle or anything. We're not those type of people.
Oh, we're not.
No, we're not. So yeah, they're going to be very disappointed.
Oh, but yeah, it's been a long day. We were up at 5 o'clock this morning for the gym, then a whole day of work, and then we've flown here this evening. And actually, I have to say, the flight wasn't too bad. I was pleasantly surprised. I was expecting airBaltic to be a little bit basic, but actually, it wasn't.
I would say it was basic, but it was basic efficiency. So, literally, they had these really small TV screens that you may have seen a video of.
Yeah.
And on those video screens, that was where they did the safety
That's true.
video. So literally the crew didn't do nothing. The crew did no announcements, nothing at all. Every time an announcement happened, it was like, oh, why don't you buy yourself a beverage, or why don't you have something nice to eat, or
why don't you buy some duty free? Yeah,
literally all they did was walk up and down and serve people. They did nothing at all. So in that sense, I assume like the kind of service you get is very consistent. They did it in native language and then they did it in English. And literally that was it. The flight was 2 hours, 40 minutes, gate to gate, very, very quick. As we said, the Wi-Fi was incredible, the seats were comfy. And the so-called business class was literally two rows at the front with a curtain across it, which, you know.
I'd still love to know what their gourmet meal was that they announced they're going to get.
Gourmet meal
with fine selected wines or something like that.
Prepared by their onboard chef.
Onboard chef, Okay, yeah. I'm not quite buying that one, but it wasn't too bad, to be fair. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No.
Quite pleasant. And actually, I have to say, in terms of legroom, I think that trumps BA. In terms of the fact there was a little moving map so you could see where you were and how long you had left on your flight. That trumps BA on their short haul offering, so they don't have things like that as well. So I don't know. Would I fly airBaltic again? I might well do that, depending on where I'm going and where they're flying to and from.
Yeah, and I think the issue we're in now is because BA have obviously changed their tier point system. You know, we will probably maintain silver. That's like 7,500 worth of spending a year. We definitely will not maintain gold. That's 20,000. I've said to Luke, obviously, because I like to travel to Florida quite a bit. It has made me think who I choose to fly with. But you know, that's a separate conversation for another time. But anyway, we're here in the hotel after going to the wrong one because the Uber driver dropped us at the wrong place.
Wrong place,
Sorry, so it wasn't Uber. I'm not going to tarnish Uber. The Bolt driver dropped us at the wrong place. Apparently there are 3 hotels with the same name. this one is more in the kind of inner streets.
It is in the inner streets, isn't it? And actually, I think, I don't know, maybe because it's Friday evening, it felt just a little bit nightlifey, if that makes sense, as we're walking down the streets. I'm sure we'll explain more of that tomorrow evening anyway, if we go out and have an explore. But it's a nice hotel. I'm glad we're here. I do feel a bit tired though, so I'm ready to bed down. And then I guess in the morning we'll wake up, have some breakfast, have a think about what we're going to do, and hopefully day 2 will be lots of action-filled fun and frolics for you guys to enjoy.
But we're going to leave it there for the time being. If you've enjoyed seeing this particular video, give it a thumbs up. It really does help the channel.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Equally as well, head on over to our Instagram channel and subscribe there, because you can see everything that we're up to in the moment.
Yep.
Obviously the vlogs will follow shortly. Also, you can drop us a DM in there as well. We're more than happy to respond. Equally as well, it's really good to engage with you guys, and as I said earlier, you know, if we're going somewhere and you've been there and you're on our Instagram and that, you can like drop us hints and tips and places to go to, and vice versa. We always do like to engage and talk to everyone.
Yeah.
There are a couple of you out there who like to drop a comment and like to send a message, so thank you for that. You know, we really do appreciate it, and we really do enjoy engaging with you all, so jump on the bandwagon.
Indeed. But for tonight, folks, that's all. We're gonna head to bed in a minute, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow for a fun first day in Riga.
And remember to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification button, and we'll catch you in the morning.
Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
What a girl wants, what a girl needs, whatever makes you happy sets you free, and I'm thanking you for giving exactly.
Those shots have gone to your head, haven't they?
What a girl needs.